Every club.
Every day.
The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello, and welcome to the Daily Arsenal Podcast, brought to you as part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. It's Monday, which means it's time to review that 12:30 kickoff against Leicester on Saturday. And joining me, your host Josh Vince, today is the man who is probably more scared of 12:30 kickoffs than anybody else. It is the wonderful Joshua Duncan. Josh, the curse is broken. You've not had a weekend ruined.
Yeah. I was a bit worried about the 12:30 kickoff. That usually just ruins my weekend if we do lose. But it was a good result for us. You know what I mean?
It really was, and kind of, I would certainly say, against what I expected. What were you sort of thinking going into it, with obviously the chaos that's been the Dubai training camp and all the injuries?
I thought it would be a 0-0 draw. I really thought it'd be a boring game, no chances, and we wouldn't have scored.
Yeah, I struggled to see where the goals were going to come from, and then when I saw the starting lineup, it was kind of exactly what I expected. I don't know about it,
Yeah, it was.
What was it? Sterling, Trossard, and Nwaneri, and right. I didn't get to watch the game because I was working. Did you actually get to sit down and watch it?
Yeah, I did.
So we're gonna go through sort of like the key events of the game, and I've got the highlights down. But if there's any other points you want to bring up at any point, then do just shout them straight out. From the looks of the highlights and the match report, it didn't look like we started that well, Josh. Would you say that's fair to say? Were we sort of under the cosh a bit from Leicester?
Yeah, we were terrible. I think defensively we weren't too bad, but going forward, I mean, we were doing nothing. The only person that was trying to make something happen was Nwaneri. I think he played brilliant, but apart from that, Trossard, I know you hate him.
I do. Yeah.
I mean, this is a game for you. I'm happy you didn't watch this game. You probably would have lost your head. And Sterling. I think we need a whole podcast to talk about Sterling and his performance on that. It was so bad. It was really bad.
We could probably do that tomorrow. Just do a deep dive on Raheem Sterling and what the hell has happened to that man. I mean, Leicester had the best chances the first half, I think, didn't they?
Yeah.
So Ndidi hit a volley straight at Raya and then also headed wide. I mean, did it feel like momentum was swinging in their direction?
No, I think they just took their chances. I think they only had like 2 chances. The first half was really boring. Really, I mean, if you're not a football fan, for neutrals, if I didn't support Arsenal, I probably would have turned it over.
It was that bad.
Yeah, it was pretty boring, to be fair.
I mean, the efforts looked all right, to be fair, and then second half comes along, and like you say, Nwaneri just came alive. He started running that show, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, this is what you kind of want, you want players to kind of step up now, and we need this. If we're fighting for this title, we need players like Nwaneri, everyone else, to really step up and put a shift in, and hats to up, 17-year-old performance like that. I mean, he really took his chance. Yeah,
towards the beginning of the second half, he went for a Saka, didn't he? Sort of like the edge of the box, cutting on his left, hit it, and it just over.
Yeah, he was unlucky. He was unlucky with that one.
Did you see him at the start of this season moulding into a Saka-esque player? Because I always thought he was like an Ødegaard replacement more than a wide man. But he seems to be emulating all of Saka's game.
I knew he could play both. But I think what I thought that he would, Arteta would like him to play more as Ødegaard's replacement. And it's good to have versatility in our squad. But yeah, I mean, what was it from September, August when the season started, from him just molding into the team? He's done a tremendous job, man.
He really has. Like he's probably the brightest spark. Him and Lewis Skelly are the brightest sparks of this season, I'd say, without a shadow of any doubt. Speaking of Lewis Skelly, I mean, Partey gives the ball away to Jordan Ayew. That was one of the worst passes I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah,
just
it was.
Played it straight to him. It wasn't like he mishit or anything. It's just like, there's Ayew. There you go. Have it. It's just absurd. Then Ayew managed to get forward because Partey sort of jogs after him. Ayew puts a really good ball across the face of goal. Raya misses it. Saliba misses it, Gabriel misses it, Bobby Day Cordova-Reid is at the far post, but who is there to get an important foot on it? It's that boy, Lewis Skelly. I mean, he's keeping Calafiori out, and he's proving why at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I think I said it and touched on other podcasts. I prefer him over Calafiori from what I've seen in certain games. And it's easy. One of those ones is easy. You can see him putting your own back of the net. You know,
Easily.
I've been guilty. I've done one of those ones where I've literally tried to clear it and I've scored on goal, and I'm a bit annoyed. But yeah, again, he's what a tremendous breakout season for him. But again, I think us Arsenal fans and England fans as well, we get a bit carried away with our English players.
We do, yeah.
Let's just give them what I mean, because they still got big shoes to fill. They still don't measure up to Jack Wilshere when he was 17. Do you know what I mean? He was and his career of injuries, it didn't really work out as it was meant to be.
I think that's a really big fear amongst a lot of Arsenal fans. We're going to kind of get onto that in the second part about possibly a slight over-reliance on them. But eventually, things happened for us. Were you surprised to see Marino being put on as a striker?
Do you know what? Yeah, I wasn't, because I kept on seeing memes online. He goes, he's going to be playing out front. He's going to be playing out front. And I thought, surely not. Surely not going to do that. But, I mean, the front three, apart from Ranieri, it was so bad. Arteta had to do something.
Yeah.
And, good fair play to Marino. He got his 2 goals, and, he took, Ranieri, the great cross.
That cross was brilliant, by the way. No one's talking about it, but it was such a good cross.
It was perfect. All he had to do, he literally guided it into the position so Marino could just head it into the back of the net. It didn't really require any real thought for him. And then the second goal, again, it's kind of funny that he's playing up front. I still can't. I can't think about it.
You know what? I was at work. I was making a cocktail, and I had my phone on the bar.
Yeah,
and it popped up. I think it was 81 minutes, and it was like Arsenal 1-0, Mikel Merino, and obviously I was incredibly relieved, but also very surprised at the name of the score sheet. And then the fact he popped up yet again with, by the way, a great poacher's finish at the far post.
Yeah.
It was like, when you're running onto a ball that's coming at some pace along the ground, it's so easy to foul that sort of effort up.
Yeah.
But he took it like he'd been playing that position for years, didn't he?
Yeah, I really think if Havertz was there, I think he would have missed it.
Mm-hmm.
He would have missed it. It was a great ball by Trossard as well. The way he found the man, Trossard had a lot to do there. He just whipped it into a position where. And what I liked about Marino, he's like he knew the attacking presence to where to be. Yeah, and that's quite surprising for someone who's never played up front ever. Like, not even in 4 years. Like, he's his first time. So
he drifts forward from the 8, and he's quite good at that. But he's never been one to literally be in the box and also have the foresight to peel off the last defender, because he was in acres of space. No one was near him.
Yeah,
the defenders completely missed him. So I think you're right. He did an absolutely incredible job there. In terms of the game, there wasn't many huge moments. So that's probably pretty much the main summary of the game. When we come back...
There was. Sterling moments.
Go on.
There was times when he I think there was one where he tried to take on the player, right? And he ran the ball out of play. And I was just like...
He ran the ball out of play?
Yeah, he literally... So he tried to... I can't remember who he was facing against, but he was trying to get past him. To be fair, he did get past the guy. Yeah. But he also took the ball out of play as well. God. It was a tight angle, but in my head, I was thinking, why would you try that? Because you have nowhere to go.
What has happened to the Liverpool Wonder Boy and Man City machine? Honestly, it can't just be confidence, surely. He is getting on a bit, but a drop off that much I've not seen in a while.
It's like what Lee Gunner said. I think he owes Kevin De Bruyne his wages. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Let's be honest, every goal he scored for City was 2 yards out.
Yeah,
it was always that cutback.
I don't know with him. For me, this loan move, I think this is probably the worst loan move we've probably had in a very long time. I can't think of. We have worse, but I think we had. Was it Kjellstrom that was worse?
Oh, yeah, but he came to us with like a broken back.
Yeah, so
so I feel for him a little bit.
Yeah,
but he was always sort of like a bit of a stopgap player, whereas Sterling was brought in to sort of like, I will rejuvenate his career and he'll be that extra man that we need up front. But he's just been useless.
Yeah, I don't know with him. I think it's like what Jamie Carragher, leave the football before it leaves you. Do you know what I mean?
And it certainly has left him. Right, we're going to take a little bit of a break now. When we come back, we're going to talk about sort of some specifics, in particular Marino, because I think we need to talk about him in a little bit more detail. We're going to talk about the youngsters as well, and maybe touch on Sterling again. So we'll be back with you just after this message from our new partners at Bioniq.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
That's our new partners at Bioniq, as Ken, our great esteemed leader, has just said there. Make sure to use the code in the description notes and you get 40% off your first subscription with them. They're a fantastic company and do some really, really good stuff. Back to the football. Back to Leicester, Arsenal at the Cape House Stadium. We do have to talk about Mikel Merino because I think for a lot of fans over the season, we brought him in for a fair bit of money and it was a long time getting him over the line. I don't know about you, Josh, but I think for a lot of other fans, he's kind of disappointed a little bit, sort of up to now, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think a lot of fans came with a big expectation and, he's just... For me, I think he's done all right, to be fair. I don't think he's been great, amazing, but I think he's put a shift in here and there. He did come. He had that injury as well, so we did get to see him straight away. And I think was it his collarbone? Was it? Or...
It was. Gabriel landed on him in his first training session, and broke his collarbone or something.
Yeah. So that's a bit unlucky. But I think he's done all right. I think the money we spent on him is not. Oh, I've seen worse signings, that we've bought. He's not terrible.
It wasn't sort of like an absolute break-the-bank signing. It was a relatively sensible fee for someone who's, a midfielder in their prime, international, made sense. I think a lot of people were just expecting him. There was such an over-expectation of him to immediately be the number 8, to be the Xhaka replacement, and just to absolutely kick on a fly. But we do have to question, because you kind of mentioned it earlier, but is he a better finisher than Kai? Because those two opportunities, the header, admittedly, he had to direct that. But we've seen Kai in situations like that have headers handed to him on a platter and send them over or send them wide. And the finish as well at the far post was really smart, really controlled, really good finish. I mean, obviously it's just one game, so we can't get too excited.
Yeah.
But he looked incredibly composed up front.
Yeah, it is. But, then again, it is Van Nistelrooy's Leicester who are in a relegation battle, and they've not been particularly great this season. I thought they would have done a bit better. Not under him, but, I just thought they would do a bit better. Is he a better finisher?
It might be too early to say that, to be honest.
I don't know, because I don't think Kai can finish. I don't think he's a good finisher at all, for me... I don't know. I've said many things about Kai Havertz, and it's a shame that he is injured. But I'm laughing because I get to win my bet.
You're not losing that bet now. He's not playing again. What was it? 20 goals all season was the bet, wasn't there?
Yeah, I did the bet with my uncle, and I think I did it with is it Noah and
Noah?
Edmund, and Edmund as well. Yeah, so
was it 20 goals in all competitions you said, or just the Premier League?
Yeah, and I said all competitions, right?
All competitions. How many did he get? He got 15. He's getting close.
I'd have lost a bet. It's such a Kai Havertz thing to do.
It really is, isn't it? To get so close to having you lose a bet, get injured for the rest of the season. Obviously, we're very upset that he's injured, but my word, there's some relief in Josh as well.
Yeah, there was a cheeky smile I had, and then I called my cousin. I was like, "Yeah, tell your dad I'm coming to collect,
This is when he makes a miraculous recovery. Somehow his hamstring refixes itself, and in the last game he scores 6 goals and finishes with 21 for the season.
Oh God, you would do it to kill me. He would do it to hurt me, innit?
He would do. You know what he's going to do with all this time that he's got off? He's going to find the Daily Arsenal podcast. He'll go through it all and go, no, I'm going to get back and I'm going to score these goals. But no, I mean, it's good to see that Arteta. I thought it was quite brave of Arteta to put Marino up front, actually, because it certainly surprised me when I heard that he'd been put in as a number 9. And who knows, maybe he could be something we could rely on. But realistically, I mean, Sterling has to do better because we need him, don't we, right now?
Yeah, I mean, the performance are disappointing with Sterling. I really wanted him to kind of prove, I think, most Arsenal fans wrong.
Yeah.
Go out there and put performance. I don't know what's really wrong with him. Maybe some family problems at home. I don't know. From what I've heard, he has a beautiful life. Got beautiful kids, beautiful wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he's I think he's born again Christian. I think he's a Baptist now. I think.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. He got. I remember I saw it online. He had a, what do you call it again? Oh gosh, I'm Christian.
Baptism,
myself.
confirmation, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I saw it online. So on paper, he seems to be having a decent life. So I don't know what the confidence is. I don't know why it's really gone bad. Like at Chelsea, he was bad, but there were certain games he was all right. I don't think an Arsenal game. The only time he's been all right has been the United game when he came on in the FA Cup. He played all right that game. We kind of need him. We need everybody.
We do.
To show that, Arsenal, we're really short at the moment. The fact that we had to put Marino up front, I mean, I don't even want to start getting onto the transfer window because I could be here all day.
Oh, mate, honestly, I don't know if you heard on Thursday. I just got.
Oh, yeah, I listened to it. I listened to it on my way. I think I was going somewhere and I put it on. I was just like, yeah, dang on, Josh.
But no, I personally look at Sterling and I think, yeah, we laughed about him joining us, and there's a lot of banter around him, but we do want him to succeed because him succeeding means that we succeed. And you're right, he currently has a blessed life. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's so comfortable that the drive possibly to be better and improve is gone. But I don't know. Something has gone wrong, and I'll be really interested at the end of the season to see if anybody talks about it, because he's not been shy in the past, Sterling, about coming out and talking about these things. No. So if he comes out and speaks about it, I'd be really interested to hear what he have to say, actually.
Yeah, funny enough, Sterling, he used to live not that far from where I live at the moment.
Really?
And yeah. And some of the guys I used to play football with used to play football with Sterling as well.
Oh, wow.
And I used to say about him is that there's one thing about Sterling is that a coach, he's never been the best, literally the best around everybody else. But you can give him something to do and he will just do it. He will get it straight away.
Oh, right, okay.
He puts 100% effort in. And I think sometimes you do see that because I think he trains the right way. He's never in the paper for the wrong reasons, really. No. I know the media was after him for one point, but from what I've heard, I've never heard him do anything bad. So I think he's got the right mentality to have. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe it's just a confidence thing, and maybe he needs a bit of love around there. Maybe Arteta needs to kind of motivate him a bit. I don't know.
Arteta doesn't strike me as the most sort of like manager friendly manager, if you know what I mean. The man to sort of put an arm around you and say, "Well done, chap, you're doing really well." He doesn't give that vibe from the touchline, does he?
I don't know. I kind of disagree with it. I think behind closed doors, I think with him, he does a lot of mind games. He likes to do those sort of things there. So it's probably things he does behind closed scenes to kind of motivate players in a different way. With Stern, I don't know what you need to do with him. He just needs to be better. Like
he does.
For me, if you ask, I said at the beginning of the season, I'd rather have Reece Nelson than Sterling. Because I think Reece Nelson, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I think you can get more out of him. I think sorry.
That's a thought. Why didn't we just recall Reece? We could have just recalled him.
No, I don't know.
He's not had the best season at Fulham. But
scored more goals than Sterling.
I could have scored more goals than Sterling in that fight. And I'm a fat, overweight centre-back.
It's so funny, yeah. I was on the phone to my cousin. I was on Friday. And I was just like, oh, man, we really got short players, I don't know what we're going to do. Then he's like to me, what are you doing on Saturday? You might need to bring your shorts or something, man.
Just pop down Leicester, yeah? Just see if just knock on the bus and just be like, Mikel, I mean, if you want it. The last thing I want to touch on before we talk about the rest of the Premier League is the youngsters. Because, like we said, Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri have been the bright lights of this season. Yeah. They've been really, really good. But I don't know about you, I'm already scared because You look at what's happened with Saka. Saka was incredible in terms of the fact he hardly got injured. Like, his fitness was phenomenal. But he's been overworked this season. He's got a bad injury. Havertz has been overworked this season, got a bad injury. Martinelli is a bit injury prone. Gabriel Jesus is made of matchsticks. Are we putting too much on them too soon? I know it's kind of, we need them at the moment and they're doing a job, but are you a little bit worried that we're overusing them?
I think I'm a bit worried that we're overusing the squad and everyone's getting injured, and it's the same sort of injuries, the hamstring injury. All right, the second one, I understand that it's in a game. You know, stop starting with VAR and all that sort of stuff there. Fine, I can forgive that one. Havertz, I mean, I think he got the hamstring because he was stretching for a ball. I think he was trying to block a shot.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's a little bit unlucky. But we have had a few hamstring injuries where it's a bit, you got to look at what we're doing. Maybe it's the extra games. Maybe it's the training. Maybe it's too intense. I don't know. But overall, I think, you know, with the injuries, something needs to give. Like, we haven't got a squad to have all these injuries, and relying on you know, the youngsters. Lewis Skelly, I think he's deservedly gone into the team because even when Calafuri was there, he's been picked ahead of him. I think he's not put a foot wrong, and I think he deserves to be on there. Ranieri, his one's more of an opportunity because obviously with the injury thing. He has had chances to shine as well this season. Because literally before the beginning of the season, when we put Vieira out on loan, what I heard word in the camp is that Arteta rates Ranieri way more highly than Vieira. And I think now every Arsenal fan can kind of really see that this boy is kind of the real deal. Well, not the real deal, but he's a very talented lad.
It's proved his point, hasn't it? Because Vieira, I liked Vieira, and he seemed to have a really good spot in the squad in terms of like the character of the squad, but he never really got running with Arsenal.
Yeah, I think with him, he was just a bit too skinny. You know, he just need to probably go KFC and just eat a bit more chicken. You know what I mean?
This is the nutritionist Joshua Duncan, official nutritionist for Arsenal FC. You're a bit skinny, lad. Get down KFC. Get a bargain bucket in you. You'll be absolutely fine. Right. We're going to take another little break. We're going to hear from our partners at Zencastr. And when we come back, we're going to have a quick look back at the Premier League fixtures from the rest of the weekend. So we'll be back just after this message. Here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spend a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr. And welcome back to the Daily Arsenal Podcast. It's the last section with me, Josh, Vince and Josh Duncan, and we're talking about the Arsenal game against Leicester at the weekend where we were 2-0 victors. It was a very, very... I think we were all pretty relieved when we won 2-0. Very, very much so. I think Jamie even messaged in the group saying that was a close shave. But there were some other interesting results throughout the Premier League. I mean, I'm just looking at the fixtures now. Ipswich drawing with Aston Villa at Villa Park.
Yeah.
Incredible result for them. Absolutely incredible. Which brings them... I mean, they're still in the drop zone, but they're only 2 points behind Wolves. I mean, of the teams who are in the drop zone, who do you see as being the most likely to survive if any of the three were going to?
It's a tough one. I think it's probably between Ipswich and Leicester, really. Southampton, they're gone. I know that was your team to stay up, but they're gone.
No, they are. I went wrong on that one, and I was actually going to ask you. I mean, they were beaten by Bournemouth, which isn't an embarrassment at the moment. Bournemouth are a really good side. Beaten 3-1. They have 9 points currently, Southampton. Now, as many of you, I'm sure, are aware, the lowest tally of points in the Premier League season is held infamously by Derby County, which, do you remember how many it is?
Yeah, 11.
11. Now, they've got 13 games left to get 2 points. But at the rate they're playing, I'm not convinced they will get them. What do you think of it?
Yeah, they must get 2 points.
They've got to, haven't they?
They've got. You know, it's just they must. Well, you know, with 13 games left, they must get at least one win.
Yeah,
you know I mean, one win. That's...
Or 3 draws. Like they can't have 13 losses.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. You know, teams like that. You know, coming out just wasting people's time, really.
It genuinely shows the unbelievable difference in quality that you
Yeah.
need nowadays. It proves why the Prem's the best league in the world, because it
Yeah.
is the most competitive. If you're not up to it, you will be spanked and sent
Yeah.
back down to the
Yeah.
kids in the Championship, or League One, as my second team, Reading, are currently struggling in at the moment. West Ham lost to Brentford again. Not a huge surprise. Potters doesn't seem to have really hit the ground running there, does he?
I think it takes a bit of time, you know. I think he's had a few injuries himself.
Yeah.
I think they were light up front, obviously, with Antonio's car crash and the other lad from Germany.
God. Yeah, of course he was.
He's been a nightmare since he's been started. He's always been injured. So they've got Ferguson in, so hopefully he can probably bang a few goals in for them.
Hopefully he can, because he seemed to drop off the radar a bit at Brighton, didn't he, recently? But fingers crossed he can start putting some performances together, because I quite liked Ferguson.
Yeah.
City beat Newcastle 4-0. I was surprised that Newcastle got spanked that badly.
Yeah. So
Omar Mamouche hat-trick. He looks a good signing, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, and they didn't really spend that much money. We were linked to him for, but yeah, we were linked to him for as well. I think just before the start of the season, and obviously we didn't really follow up from it. We don't follow up anybody.
No, of course we don't.
But yeah, he looks like a good, decent signing. You know, I think he's one to look out for definitely next season.
I mean, he's a perfect replacement for Alvarez, and actually looks a little bit more dangerous potentially than Alvarez was as well.
Yeah.
I think the big surprise yesterday, or we're recording a Sunday, so yesterday, was actually Fulham beating Forest 2-1. Now, Fulham aren't a side of pushovers by any means, but Nottingham Forest have been playing so well. Smith Rowe on the scoreline as well. Our boy Emmy, he did well. But I mean, Nottingham Forest, they can't maintain where they are, can they? It's not going to happen. They can't maintain. Can they maintain a Champions League spot, do you think?
Oh, boy. Well,
they're currently 4 points above Bournemouth, who are... actually, do you know what? I just need to read this table to you quickly.
It's crazy. I saw it the other day.
Mad. So Liverpool top with 60, us second with 53, Nottingham Forest third with 47, so we're comfortably second. So then third is Forest with 47, fourth is Man City with 44, fifth is Bournemouth with 43, then Chelsea, Newcastle, Fulham, Villa, Brighton. Like, what the hell? Bournemouth? They've kind of come out of nowhere, haven't they?
I think you saw it a bit last season, because last season they played a bit well as well, and you know, their manager he did a tremendous job with them. You know,
he's very very good.
Yeah.
Now the game that disappointed me was the one that was played today. Liverpool 2, Wolves 1. I mean, Wolves gave them a game.
Yeah,
they did give him a game, and you know, pulled one back in 67 minutes with Matheus Cunha. I mean, he said no to us. The least he could have done was score 2 bloody goals instead of 1. But I mean, I talked about this a little bit. Obviously, they dropped points against Everton, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Do you think 7 points is a bit too much of a mountain to climb at the moment, with us being so deep in, or do you see Liverpool dropping points?
I don't see Liverpool dropping points. Well, you know, I do see them dropping points, but I don't see us, you know, making the best of them dropping points, and that's where it is. It's a big ask, you know.
It's huge, isn't it? Yeah.
To fair play, we've been unbeaten for a little while. I think the last loss we had was against Bournemouth, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Bournemouth. A good while ago,
yeah, that was a good while ago. So fair play, you know. We've not played the best, but we're not losing matches.
We're getting results.
Well, you know, as famous Kevin Keegan, we're still in this fight, this title, you know.
And we will be to the bitter end.
But I think 7 points. It's a big ask. We have to play them at Anfield as well. I don't see us winning that game.
No. Yeah. If we win at Anfield, it's on.
Yeah.
But
that's in May, though. It could be terrorists could be done then.
They'll be 12 points clear by that point, and we'll be fourth somehow. Now, we have to talk, of course. The last thing we have to talk about was the Clash of Titans. It was the bottom half powerhouse match of Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester United at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs winning 1-0 through, I think it was a James Maddison goal. Yeah, James Maddison. Again, I didn't get to watch it because I was at work. Did you get to catch this thrilling contest, Josh?
Yeah, I watched a bit of the game, then I realised it was kind of pointless watching it because anything.
Completely inconsequential, let's be honest. Although it means that Spurs are now 10 points off of the magic 40 points needed for survival.
It's a really bad season they have. I know they've got a lot of injuries, to be fair.
They have a lot.
They've got a lot of injuries. But God, you never thought they would be this far, this late into the season.
Josh, they've won 9 out of 25 games.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
9. It's absurd.
It's something you don't think of. And United.
Well,
I knew it would be bad, but I didn't think it would be this bad.
United are currently 12 points above the drop zone. And Amorim, what was it Amorim said? I saw it on BBC News today. My job is so hard, said Ruben Amorim. No, Sherlock. I mean, you took on Manchester United, the job which nobody else wanted. They're just... I think it's been a really weird season for a lot of teams, but I think Manchester United has been the one good joke that we can all share in.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the job and a half on there. I mean, I think with him in his press conferences, him saying that we're going to play our way and we're not really going to change. I think that might backfire on him. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's got the players to play the way he wants to play.
He doesn't.
I mean, I think the recruitment they did in the summer was pretty much of a joke. They bought players that no one really wanted or was any after, and it's just everything in the club. I mean, like, look, with Anthony, he's gone out on loan, and he went on the match the other day.
Yeah, for Betis, he got
there's something at this club. I don't know if it's the players, if it's the management, if it's the board. They keep talking about the Glazers now, and I think the Glazers, what they've done now, they put Jim Ratcliffe in charge, and he's made all these changes here. And I don't know if he's the front that everyone hates now.
Hey man, he's just firing everyone. That's all he's done. He's just fired everyone.
Yeah,
like I live in Manchester. I know a few people who work at Old Trafford and for United. Apparently, it is toxic there at the moment.
Really?
Everyone is terrified for their jobs because he is brutal. And he has a track record of this. He just goes around and he is cutting costs everywhere he can. So people are worried.
I don't really like that because at the end of the day, forget all football and things there. I think the United staff, they go in there every day. They're everyday Joes.
They do, yeah.
They've got probably mortgages and families to feed. And to be fearful of their life when they've got, players on over 100 grand a week wages, why can't you cut their wages? They're the reason why the club's where it is. They're not performing on the pitch.
100%.
People in the canteen or wherever they work in the bar, they're just regular people that just live locally and just want to have a job like a normal person.
Yeah. They rely on it to get by. Yeah. They don't rely on it to get rich. They rely on it to get by. And you're right. They're the ones who are being punished, which isn't fair. It's not right.
And the fans as well. I mean, tickets going up. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Mugged off at Old Trafford. They are mugged off there.
They did it midway through the season. I mean, where are they? What 15th?
15th. I think it was. Yeah,
15th. And you're telling me you want to put the tickets up with the risers? Yeah, you're having a laugh there, mate.
I don't understand how they can genuinely sit there in a board meeting and go, yeah, we can justify this. Yeah, but we justify putting the prices up this much because we're the richest club in the world. We're such a good club. It's bonkers, isn't it? It's a bad joke at the moment, Manchester United. And you know what? I'm very glad that we're London red and not Manchester red because, God, life would be miserable if it was the other way around. And on that note, I think we're going to call it a day. So thank you very much, of course, to Josh for joining us, Joshua Duncan, one of our top guests here on the Daily Arsenal podcast. We'll be coming to you tomorrow. I think we're going to do a Sterling deep dive, Josh. I think we're going to do a look at his career and a look at what's going wrong at Arsenal. So I think we're going to do a Sterling deep dive, and then on Wednesday for Wednesday's episode, I have a fun game. We're going to play the Arsenal draft.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to get a list of all the players who play for Arsenal, and we're going to play a live draft to see who gets the best Arsenal team. And then we'll have a vote on social media for who has the best team from the Arsenal draft. But until then, from Josh and myself, Josh, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you tomorrow and have a great day. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.